My next guest in Late Night and Tigard.
My next guest in Late Night and Tigard.
What was that? My next guest on Late Night and Tigard. It's Justin Lowe, one of our new members of the Public Safety Advisory Board. Justin, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thank you very much for having me, Mayor Snyder.
I am curious about what your specific motivation was to participate in the Public Safety Advisory Board. Why was it important to you, and why did you decide to apply in the first place?
I saw it as a way to contribute to meeting the moment that we were in at that time. As someone who's always been a part of diversity, equity, and inclusion work from high school to undergrad and then in my professional line of work, I felt a moral obligation to be a part of the conversation and to try to be a participant. And especially since in some of my projects that I do outside of my day job, I have the wonderful opportunity to get to work with student leaders. And through that line of work, I've come across students who are from our very own city and from the Tigard-Tualatin School District who were not only very passionate about the opportunity to talk about SROs, but also just policing in general.
What's an SRO? You're using jargon there, Justin.
I apologize. An SRO is a school resource officer. And so these are the folks who are working within our schools and helping monitor public safety within them.
So what have you learned from some of your fellow Public Safety Advisory Board members that you've had a couple meetings now? So what are some of the most interesting things you've learned or conclusions you've drawn from listening to other members of the board?
I've learned a lot specifically about the mental health lens of this. You know, we have two community members, and I believe maybe one more, who work professionally in the mental health field and community. Mm-hmm. And I think that since I don't come from that background, it's been very enlightening to hear about and to understand how that plays a role in public safety, how it plays a role in a law enforcement officer's duty and responses.
So you're glad they're at the table then?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think that the overall composition of the Public Safety Advisory Board has been wonderful to be a part of because there's such a diverse array of different professions and backgrounds.
It almost sounds like you're saying the person that came up with the composition of the board is brilliant. Would that be true?
You know, I wouldn't want to give them too much credit, but I will admit that whoever was responsible for the composition was very intentional with their selecting.
We'll leave it at that. What would you want the community, like the community broadly, to know about the work of the Public Safety Advisory Board from your perspective?
The thing that I'd like the community to know first and foremost is to have hope. And the reason why I say that is because I have never felt so hopeful to be a part of a space and decision-making table that was created specifically to bring people together on such a very sensitive and very pressing matter that the community deeply cares about on both sides of the argument. And I think the fact that we've created this space to bring community members, health professionals, law enforcement, and city staff to the table to discuss this hard conversation and talk about how we can make the community safer and better for everyone is such an incredible opportunity.
Justin, I want to thank you very much for your time visiting Late Night in Tigard. Really appreciate it and hope to see you around soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.